YouTuber, check it out, man. We back. We back. No more pre-recorded. This was dropping Saturday, and it is Saturday. Go grab your snack, man, because we got swamp stories, bro. The nigga swamp stories, bro. He keep you engaged through all of this, bro. You keep you engaged. You got a little interactive joke. With when somebody die, rest in peace. You go bang. You gotta say bang on time. You gotta say bang on time. But go grab your snack. About to get into it.
For this, welcome back to another episode of Swamp Stories.
Appreciate
For this one, we cover a complete sociopath, plain and simple. A rapper who wreaked havoc on the streets of California for no reason and with zero remorse, sliming out his own friends and even family members.
Get to the gaming channel, bro. Get to the freaking gaming channel, bro. Life is Strange, episode 3 is dropping Saturday. Episode 3 is wicked. Trust me, it is wicked. Get to the gaming channel.
All while maintaining the image of a rapper who everyone likes. Possibly one of the grimiest rappers we've ever seen. Or maybe not. You can be the judge. In this video, you'll see how a good kid can turn into an absolute savage, just like that. And how constantly backdooring your friends will eventually come around to bite you.
We want to talk about good kid turned to absolute savage Joker.
So welcome
Do your
to
homework
the
on
Samoan
Joker,
Grim
Philly
Reaper.
Joker.
But before we get into it,
Run
here on the intro. The story begins deep in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean, specifically on the Samoan Islands, historically home to Polynesians who over thousands of years developed their own language and culture while having very little contact with the outside world. But then, of course, in the 1800s, the British, the Germans, and the Americans saw the islands as a strategic territory.
Losers.
Strategic to build warships and then to dock them there, so for decades, these countries fought over the territory back and forth and back and forth. They eventually gave it up after realizing that it's really just too far away. But then came New Zealand, and they took over the island after that.
Damn,
New
really?
Zealand kept control of the Samoan Islands until 1962, when the Samoans finally got their independence. Now eventually it would become two countries, Samoa and American Samoa. But either way, that's a brief history. Well, because the islands are so small and remote, it's really hard to build an economy and a prosperous path for natives. And because of this, half of the island's population moved to New Zealand, Hawaii, and California.
I was wondering, I was like,
Now,
yeah,
in
there are a lot of
Southern
Samoans in
California,
New
they settled
Zealand.
Oceanside, Long Beach, Compton, and Carson. And in Northern California, let me break it down like this. The Samoans who were more established and had better jobs, well, they bought homes in San Bruno, San Mateo, East Palo Alto, and some in San Jose. But
San
then
Jose.
The Samoans in poverty, they all went to San Francisco.
Yo.
Specifically, they all moved to the projects. Alamany, West Point, Double Rock, and most importantly, the Sunnydale projects. From Samoan island life straight to the grimy projects. Now, of course, being bigger than everyone, you shouldn't be scared of anyone. But in these projects, you would get blasted just for no reason. So, of course, the Samoan community in San Francisco would develop its own street activities, and you know how that goes.
Yeah,
so in terms
don't
of
go too
Northern
well.
California Samoans, your family either came over and bought a house, or you were deep in the trenches of San Francisco. However, for one kid in particular, his situation was much more unique.
Roman Reigns.
That introduces us to a young boy named Momo Valga, also known as MJ. MJ was born on the island of American Samoa, specifically the small city of Pago Pago. But like many Samoans, he immigrated to America at a very early age. However, this didn't happen in the typical way, as MJ got to America by way of adoption. Adopted to an upper-class white family in San Francisco.
Welcome home.
A culture shock is definitely an understatement, but at least he had cousins in San Francisco that he could see and kind of relate to. Nonetheless, on paper, MJ's childhood was pretty great. He attended private Catholic schools, he played sports, and he stayed on the right path.
Oh, he like me
wasn't
for
all
real.
deep in the trenches, getting exposed to the
Well, I'm
things
like
that
him
was
for real, 'cause he older than me.
Then for high school, MJ would attend an all-boys private school called Archbishop Reardon. Here, he would thrive as a rugby player, actually becoming one of the top recruits in the country. Strong, fast, relentless, fearless, as he led Reardon to winning his league. Really a boy on a field, you feel me? By the time MJ was at this stage, his family had actually moved to San Francisco, and in particular, in the middle of the projects.
Wait,
This
a white family in Cali living in the projects? No racism, but why?
is when life would just start to take a tumble for the young teenage MJ. His previous sheltered life far gone, as he's now deep in the trenches with his cousins. And when you're young in San Francisco, being around trench babies is kind of like a disease. Let me explain. Constantly seeing your trench baby peers hitting for $20, $30, $40,000 licks and never getting caught, it's like, damn.
Let me get in that.
Studying for a stupid chemistry exam, and they're over there flexing $50,000 cash with designer on and every girl you wish you could have.
Bro, the only thing that's stopping me from doing this, bro, is jail time. I couldn't do it. I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't do it.
Like, shit, I'm trying to do that shit too.
Oh, God.
It's a tough pill to swallow. As
I was in class studying chemistry.
MJ started to ever so surely fall down this path. Nonetheless, he'd graduate from Reardon in 2016 with the opportunity to play rugby in college.
Get out of there.
But the streets had already consumed his mind and his heart.
Uh-oh.
At this point, he begins to run with his cousins in the Sunnydale Projects, which, if you're not familiar, has two different sets. You've got 4-2, which is pretty much the black set at the bottom, and then you got Tray 4, the Samoan side up top. Of course, he runs with the latter, and together they become Tear It Off, a robbery crew like nothing the Bay had ever seen. I'm talking a crew of straight savages robbing everything and everyone. Tear it off. Well, along with his new street life, he also becomes a rapper under the name of 10 Shada. Now, while I wouldn't say that he became a Bay Area mainstream name off the rip, he did develop a small buzz in the city. At first, he'd rap with his cousins Sauce Bang and Mo Gutta, and while they suck, like they can't rap at all, these two are demons in the streets.
Yo.
I really can't stress it enough. Tear It Off was terrorizing the streets of the Bay.
This is the moment
Non-rappers
20 masked hooded
I've
people
seen this
stormed
before.
into Heller Jewelers
I saw this on YouTube when they dropped.
Surveillance video shows 2 carloads of burglars breaking into a San Francisco smoke
It was
shop
all
in
on
the
my
middle of the
YouTube
night.
recommended page.
This graffiti on the boarded up
I
outdoor
ain't
dining
watching.
platform is just the latest blow to K Elements Barbecue in the Richmond. Vandals, thieves, and burglars are hitting already struggling small businesses.
Earlier this week, just a mile away, thieves
Hey,
rammed
what
a
the
car
heck
into
happened?
a convenience store on Balboa Street.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I'm just cleaning my shoe. What the
Thieves
heck
and
happened?
burglars are hitting already struggling small businesses.
Earlier this week,
Damn!
just a mile away, thieves rammed a car into a convenience store on Balboa Street to steal lottery tickets.
At this
Stop
time, if there
stealing
was
lottery
any robbery
tickets,
in the
bro.
Bay, there's a 50% chance that Tear It Off did it. Now, most of the time it was easy getaways, breaking in cars, breaking into stores, taking stuff, and getting out the way. Then they began robbing individuals as well. And in the Bay Area, nobody really fights back. But eventually, you're gonna rob.
Oh, they moved to San
like on
Francisco. San Francisco is the Bay Area. That's the rich neighborhood. I'm tripping.
October 23rd, 2017, 10 Shada's cousin Sauce Bang would rob a plug in Pittsburgh. The plug by the name of Scipio thought that he was friends with Sauce, but then when Sauce upped on him, he was not trying to give it up.
Uh-oh. I missed
Right
it.
to the head. Sauce would take his life just like that. He'd actually get
RP
away with
Sauce.
it for a few years, but then 3 years later, he'd be arrested and sentenced to 22 years in prison. Either way, the point is to show you
Yeah,
how
300K
reckless and
marijuana
heartless Tear It Off
robbery.
is. And this level of heartlessness spreads to 10 Shada in a major way, to the point where he becomes a whole new persona. There is no more MJ, it's just straight up 10 Shada. He quickly becomes known for robbing plugs, jewelry stores, dispos, and even rappers. 10 Shada starts
robbing
right
rappers.
in the midst of a whole NorCal wave.
Ain't
Mozzie,
Whoa.
Yada, Lil Peep, Lil Yee, a whole movement is brewing. And with this movement, there's out-of-state rappers tapping in like never before.
Like who?
There's examples like Fetty Wap, pretty much all the Detroit rappers,
What?
and OMB Peasy. Now he's actually from Sacramento,
Peasy,
but
you
he
gon'
claims
get it done.
Alabama and puts on the accent and everything. But anyways, with all these rappers tapping into the movement, it's a great opportunity for young rappers like 10. You know, to get in the studio, lock in, maybe make a connection.
Yeah,
with
man.
someone.
That's when you lock in.
But
Nope.
10 has a different idea. While in the studio with OMB Peasy, who's scorching hot with hit songs,
No way he robbed
instead of trying to
Peasy.
elaborate, he robs him for his chain. Give me that shit, bitch. After doing this, he even flexes them on Instagram, completely destroying his own reputation in the rap industry and potentially f***ing up the reputation for the rappers around him.
You robbing
This is
Peasy
who he's
for?
become. He's robbing everyone and running up a bag while facing zero consequences. But then when he's feeling like he's on top of the world, he gets hit with the other side of the streets.
Uh-oh.
On April 21st, 2018, his best friend Pootie would be shot and killed while posted up in Hunters Point.
But he robbed Peasy before he was even hot.
This was a big loss for 10 on a personal level, but because it wasn't his direct politics, it really had nothing to do with him. So he keeps it moving, hitting licks and rapping in the meantime. But then, a Samoan beef starts to brew in the city.
Uh-oh, you about to get sticky. San Fran beef.
I've covered this before in a previous video.
Did I watch that
Here's
one?
the deal. Long story short, the blacks and the Samoans were allied for many, many years in the Double Rock Project.
Like these.
But then, a random incident would ruin it all.
It was basically, we all was chilling outside on the block, and one of my niggas at the time was just like, he ran from the police. He dropped his gun, dropped his phone, but he kept running. The Samoans came and found his phone, took it, and took it to the Mexicans downtown, sold it. And
what?
My nigga came back and was like, bro, with my phone, the female said y'all took my phone, like, and the Samoans was like, man, like, we sold that. We gonna have to fight and get it up though, like, let's fight and get it over with. Like, my nigga was like, he looked at all of us. I remember this day, bro. He looked at all of us in the face, was like, I'm thinking we finna have a brawl, Samoan and black, we finna fight these niggas, get over with, like. He just pulled out a strap. We don't even know. Like we all like, okay. But he pulled out, so all y'all niggas get out of Double Rock. Get out of Double Rock. Oh, it's up then. It's up. So once they left, we like, what niggas ain't, we ain't want these niggas. Ain't gonna do. So we go back over there to the hood. It's pitch black over there. It's like them niggas cut the lights out our hood or something, like. They go right there. All hell break loose.
Damn, bro. Big shootout.
Basically, someone from Double Rock snaked out a black dude from Double Rock by taking his phone and selling it, and then it turned into a shootout. And over the years, this basically got all the Samoans in the city to gang up against Double Rock projects. The animosity grows, and for the young generation, it all kicks off on April 5th, 2020.
COVID.
Bay Bridge shooting. One person died overnight. 2 other people are injured. CHP says this was a targeted and possibly gang-related shooting. It happened at around 11:30 on the upper deck, the westbound lanes near Fremont Street. 2 passengers in a gray Infiniti car were hit. A 20-year-old man died, and a 19-year-old has major injuries.
Teradov Mogutta would survive a headshot, but sadly for his little baby Reno, he would lose his life. This would crush the Samoan community, as it was their first loss in the beef. And what it does is unify all of the Samoans in the Bay, plus everyone on their side of the politics. You're either with us, or you're a target too. And this is when Ten Shada and all of his Teradov homies truly jump off the porch and turn into killers. Boom, 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 boom. They began whacking rivals left and right. They truly began terrorizing the other side, hunting them everywhere they could be, and that includes on muni buses as well.
But they killing people on muni buses?
It's a real all-out war.
Y'all don't know, but them buses aren't driven by nobody, bro. So that bus do not stop. It don't stop.
Sides hate each other, and
it stops
if
at
one side slips up even once, you're probably dead.
You know, the joke,
and in a war like this, one
up,
thing that is very important is to make sure that your side is solidified. No infighting, no internal beef, because that only helps the enemy. Now, for most people, this is understood. There are certain lines that you don't go against. But Ten Shada, he just doesn't care. He's all about the money. So if you have something that he wants, whether you're on his side or not, he doesn't care. He's gonna get you for it. I now introduce you to one of the fallen BR's closest childhood friends. This would be a major hustler out of Hunters Point named 4L Bali.
Oh, you learned his
after
face.
The loss of BR, Bali was crushed like everyone else.
Oh, is he a
to
kid?
the point where he even got his face tatted on his body. And while Bali's not directly in the beef, the tattoo shows where his sympathy lies. But like I said, Bali's just known for getting money, chains, whips, traveling, all that kind of stuff. And for Ten Shada, despite his loyalty to BR, this makes him a target.
Wait,
so
is this a kid? Why was he blurring his face?
Ten Shada allegedly hits up Bali to make a little transaction. Bali thinks nothing of it, and at night, he meets up with Ten Shada in a remote location.
Nah, bro, I'm not meeting up with nobody at night, bro.
Ten Shada immediately ups on him. Bali is like, man, what are you doing? And before he can grab his pipe, Ten unleashes. Bang!
He shot 10 folks.
Ten flees the scene as Bali is left on the curb. The ambulance arrives in 10 minutes, and miraculously, they get him to the ER with a heartbeat.
What?
Somehow, he would remain brain dead in a coma for a few months.
Damn, bro.
Then, by the grace of God, he wakes up and returns to normal. Either way, this was awful and a huge deal. Everyone was like, whoa, what are you doing?
What
In the
is he
middle of a
doing?
beef, you do this to somebody on your side for no reason
Literally.
whatsoever? What are you thinking? And this is when he truly begins to have the reputation, a heartless snake savage. But this is only the beginning. Now we fast forward to 2022. It's the early summer of 2022, a miraculous time in the Bay Area. Not only for the nice weather, but also because the Warriors just defeated the Celtics to win another ring.
Curry.
Return
Grab that.
and return with a championship. Curry with his dad, the emotions just pouring
Shout out my boy Curry. Love that
For
boy.
most
So
people in the Bay,
inspirational.
it's a time of joy and celebration, but for those involved in the city beef, it's a little bit different. They're in the middle of a war, and there's a good chance they run into each other at the festivities.
Oh no.
June 20th,
Okay,
2022.
cool. I was gonna shoot up the
It's
freaking
the morning of
parade.
the Warriors parade.
No way
in
y'all gonna shoot
downtown
up the
San
freaking
Francisco,
parade.
And of course, Double Rock and the Samoans are there. They run into each other, they throw hands, and then they separate before the police can arrive. None of them are dumb enough to crash out in front of a crowd of thousands of people. So they go their separate ways, and that fast forwards us just a few hours. 8 p.m. 10 shot his little cousin named T.I.O. Twin heads to
T.O.
In-N-Out
Twin.
in Daly City to grab a bite. At this point, Twin is just a football player for South San Francisco High School, not fully in the streets. But for some people in the beef, this doesn't really mean anything, because coincidentally, the Double Rock crew walk into the same In-N-Out just 5 minutes later.
Bro, don't tell me they're gonna kill him at his job, bro.
And while standing in line, the Double Rockians spot him sitting down.
Oh.
Hey, is that little bro from Sunnydale? Oh yeah, let's get on him. So they walk up to him with their phones out and begin stomping him out. Sheesh. This is disrespectful. And the worst part about it is that they post it on Instagram and it goes viral. I'm just a football player. Well, when his big cousin 10 Shot sees this, he's pissed. Like, oh,
This how y'all playing? Stomping out my cousin and embarrassing him, and he ain't even really in the streets?
okay, bet. Watch this.
I don't blame
10:30
him.
p.m. Here we are in downtown Oakland.
This all in
Many
the same
people
day
outside
too, bro.
Celebrating the Warriors championship. In particular, the brother of a Double Rock rapper known as Inna Cuts is hanging out at Halftime Sports Bar. Now, this dude is not in the streets or not in the beef at all. But after what happened earlier, the other side just doesn't care. They get word of his location and they're on their way. At 11 p.m., while he's standing outside talking, a car pulls up. This is when 4 masked men with Dracos hop out of the whip and
Drakes.
run him down.
Oakland, where police say one person died.
Sorry, I gotta go back. 'Cause I saw a lot of people running. Who they were
This is
shooting
when
at?
4 masked men with Dracos hop out of the whip and run him down.
I don't know.
Oakland, where police say one person died after a quadruple shooting outside
Damn,
Halftime
32
Sports
shots.
Bar. This happened around 11 o'clock last night.
Damn,
You
look
can
at all
see
the crime
a
scene,
heavy
the crime.
police presence there, lots of crime scene tape, and a lot of evidence markers there
evidence
at the
markers.
scene. The bar is along 14th Street near Webster Street, and police say this happened following a Warriors celebration. We are working to learn the conditions of the 3 other victims who were shot and what led up to that shooting.
Now, this was a major deal because it broke the simple rules of beef. Leave people who ain't in it out of it.
Yep.
But for 10 and his boys, it's like you stumped out our little cousin at In-N-Out and he ain't have nothing to do with the beef. So it's only right. Disgusting acts all around, but this just shows how dangerous these dudes are. And because of incidents like this, 10 began to have the reputation of a real stepper. A heartless savage who has no problem putting you in the dirt. At this point, he's completely heartless, but still, his next alleged actions will shock you.
What we about to do? Uh-oh.
If you're familiar with
Hey,
the
Bo.
rap game, especially in California,
Draco.
you know how big Empire Records is. Some of the biggest artists in the
Man,
world
get outta
of
here,
all
Empire.
genres signed to the San Francisco label. A label started by a guy from a country in the Middle East that I don't think I can say the name of, but he grew up in San Francisco and this is where he started the label. This would of course be Ghazi. And why this is important? Well, because he's very, very loyal to San Francisco.
Yeah, if I had
Despite
money, bro,
having
I'd start me
major
a label.
contracts with the biggest artists in the world, Ghazi still puts a lot of time and effort into developing local talent. Even if the artists have no real potential of blowing up big, he'll still dump some money into their career just to, give back to his city.
Just
And
great.
because of this, Ghazi and Empire are pretty much untouchable in San Francisco. meaning that you're not going to go rob Empire or bring your bullshit to their doorstep because the respect is just way too high. This is true for 99% of the city's hoods and rappers, but for one guy,
no way,
he just doesn't care.
No way he went to
Empire. That takes us
Empire.
to December 12th, 2022. It's 9 p.m. at Empire Studio in South of Market, and the rapper Prezi is there trying to make another hit. So he's in there vibing, having fun with rappers from his hood like STORIEZ FM. And during the studio session, they post on their Instagram stories, and of course, allegedly, TenShada sees where they are. And being nosy savage that he is, he decides to pull up by himself, either to get in the studio and record with them, or to utilize his drums. And we ain't talking music. 9:30 p.m. According to witnesses, this is when TenShada arrives to the studio and kind of lingers outside. Just chilling, walking in circles, you know. But coincidentally, at this exact time, Prezi decides to walk out of the studio to get something from his car. And when he steps outside, TenShada is right there, and allegedly, they start blowing. 27 shots ring out, and Prezi is hit once. Thankfully,
27 shots.
Okay, and the shooter gets away safely. This is a big deal in San Francisco, lighting up Empire Studios. Unwritten rule. But before we get into that, you may be wondering, how do you know it was TenShada? And honestly, I don't officially.
Bro, he hit me with a Morgan and Morgan ad. You hit me with a Morgan and Morgan ad, bro. Shout out to you, cause this is a great way to slip it in. But I'm 10 steps ahead of you.
No, but after it happened,
okay, cool.
Everyone texted me. TenShada just shot Prezi at Empire Studio. TenShada just lit up Empire Studio. Everyone knew this except the police. And if we assume that this is true,
wait,
gotta
how the police ain't know this, bro?
Not smart. As a rapper, you just ruined any chance of signing with Empire or really signing with anyone in the industry. You just ruined it all. You're digging yourself into an even deeper hole, one that you can probably never get out of. You're toxic and everyone is scared to be around you. Well, except for people who don't really know who you are. As we know from the Bali situation, TenShada has no problem crossing anyone for money. So associating with him or even being around him is really a dumb decision, because you're definitely gonna get robbed by him too. At this point, everyone in the city knows this, so they're either too scared to cut him off, or they're just not fucking with him at all. But outside the city, people don't really know this. They know that he's hard and he's doing stuff in the streets, but really all they see is that he's got a bunch of money and he's got some popularity. His collaborations with Tear It Off Greasy, Fredo Bags, and Dex Kruger kind of solidify him as a local star. And because of this, struggling rappers outside the city are willing to lock in with him and, you know, make music or do whatever.
So that introduces us to a brand new character.
A brand new character unlocked. Who we got?
I now introduce you to a young man of caucasity by the name of Max Mason.
What's up, Max?
Now, Max
Double
is your
M.
typical wannabe street dude, a white dude born and raised in the suburban city of San Mateo, who, for whatever reason, just wants to be hella hard.
Maxwell, do your homework. No, Mom, I hate you. I want to be a thug.
Well, throughout his
talk about SWAT stories, bro. You keep you engaged with
20s, he becomes affiliated with San Mateo's Shoreview Crips. I know it sounds ridiculous. San Mateo Crips? Really? But like I said in the beginning of the video, Shoreview San Mateo is a Samoan enclave where a few guys started a gang.
San Mateo.
Yeah, Shoreview to be exact. We on the east side of the freeway.
Tell me a little bit about that.
You know, we just a little quiet little city over there, you know what I mean? We got a little something going on, but you know, it's a little tight-knit community, you know what I mean? So
long story short, Max Mason starts running with them and he begins rapping as well. And running with them, he gets a bunch of money in the streets and spends it on features like with Draco the Ruler. The music doesn't blow up, but along the journey, he becomes known for hitting licks, trapping, just getting money. Maxwell was officially making it out of the grimy, nasty, disgusting streets of San Mateo. I'm kidding, of course, and along this journey, he actually gets arrested and goes to prison.
Uh-oh.
You know, my son Maxwell, he's run into a bit of trouble. He was always a good kid, just hanging around the wrong crowd.
Long story short, Max does a couple years in prison and he comes home in 2022. After all them years of hitting licks and running it up, he's now home on ground zero. No money and time to run it up again. This is when Max makes a terrible mistake.
What Max do?
Due to his gang ties with the Islanders, he's connected with Ten Shada. Now Max sees this as the perfect opportunity. Ten is known for getting money, so I can get money with him, and then musically, he can help me out as well.
Man, I would not
so
even
Max
mess with that,
and 10
man.
Shadas lock in, and they begin hitting big-ass licks. So now Max thinks that this is his brother. We run together in the streets, we get in the studio, everything's good. He has no idea that this dude is a slimy, slithery snake. It's early January of 2023, and allegedly, Ten Shada comes up with a big, easy lick. Why easy? Because he already has the codes to get in and out without having to break a single thing. How he has these codes? Well, because it's his uncle's warehouse. Then mysteriously, a bunch of the warehouse valuables go missing. So long story short, his uncle notices, he checks the cams, and he sees two dudes in masks emptying the warehouse.
No way. No way that was the real camera, bro.
This is very suspicious. How did they know how to get in and know where all the valuables were? This has to be somebody in my circle.
Yep.
So the rumors say that Ten Shada is questioned. Bruh. Neff, did you run through my warehouse?
Nephew, I see you got all that money in them videos and stuff, bro. What? You didn't have nothing to do with this, huh?
Hell nah, Unc. But I'm gonna figure out who did it. I promise you.
It be like that when you lose
And
your phone
here's
at
where
the
things
gym.
get messy. Max Mason's homies say that Ten Shada
You
told
lose your phone in the gym class.
Uncle this. Man, it was this white boy who I'm running with. He snaked me out. He snaked us out. Unc, I can't believe he hit this lick behind my back. I'ma go handle this. Don't even worry about it. Basically, they allege that to save his own ass, he throws Max under the bus. And that takes us to January 31st, 2023. It's 7 a.m. in a tucked-off San Francisco neighborhood known as Little Hollywood. Here, Max is up bright and early, waiting on his homie to come meet him so they can go hit some licks. 7:29 a.m. As Max is sitting in his car
doing
not
this
paying
early.
attention, a man is slowly walking up to his whip. The car's lit up over 50 times.
50? But he had like three
This
people
was a
with him at
tragedy
least.
that really happened for no reason. Of course, Max's homies were pissed as they tweet and post all over the internet,
"Fuck 10 Shada.
You snaked out our boy." Well, in reality, you can tweet and post all over the internet all you want. But are you really gonna go push up on Ten Shada?
Nah, he got it.
I don't think so.
He got it.
But nonetheless, this is another example of how dirty the streets are and how you can never trust anybody like Ten Shada. So as word gets around the bay about who did this, everyone's like, hey, that dude is a real snake.
Do not lock in with him, bruh.
But on the flip side, his reputation grows as a stepper and a dude who can get the job done. Combine that with a deep desire for money, and you've got your perfect hitman. You need somebody gone? Call 10. You need somebody robbed?
Call 10.
Call 10. At this point, he's neck deep in the streets, and his previous persona as MJ is completely gone. The talented rugby player and private Catholic school graduate, far, far in the past.
Amen.
Now that fast forwards us a few months later. Now I introduce you to a San Francisco Mission native named Alexio Villaseñor, also known as Lex Whips. Now Lex looks like a big old teddy bear, but those who know him, they know the real. This dude is a major scammer, hustler,
pack slanger, pack taker, risk taker.
Pretty much he's a rich Mexican Ten Shada, just without the violence. Lex loves to splurge with his money, so he'll do anything to keep up this lifestyle.
Not my dog.
When I
You're
say
not my dog.
anything,
You taking packages, not
crossing
my
people
dog.
for a bag. Shit, you can only do this so long before you cross the wrong person. And allegedly, this anonymous trapper that he crossed put $100,000 on his head. Word gets around the city of San Francisco, and Lex knows that this is bad news. So this is when he tucks off in the Southern California city of Montclair until the smoke blows over. Or at least, that's what he thinks. February 24th, 2023. Lex returns to the bay after a short while, thinking that the smoke cleared over. Particularly on this day, he heads to East Oakland, possibly the worst idea of them all. At 6 p.m., he parks his car on the 7200 block of International Boulevard, and he goes inside the liquor store. Little does he know, a man in a stolen Infiniti has been on his trail.
Oh,
so the
snap.
Infiniti double parks outside the liquor store and waits outside.
Bro, how you don't know somebody been on your
2
trail?
minutes later, Lex walks outside.
Damn. RP Lex.
This was a tragedy for the mission, but most importantly for Lex's family. Lex was a go-getter, you know, for sure not an angel, but still, he definitely did not deserve this. Well, now the question is who did this, and officially, nobody. But exactly 4 hours after the passing of Lex, Tenshada would post on his story flexing $100,000 cash, and he'd say, "I'm that that your mama warned you about." Sheesh. Now, like I said, all of this is alleged, but when you need the job done, call Tan. There's really no one better. He's truly a professional savage. After all these years of a wild lifestyle, he still has never gotten a prison sentence. But then he gets a little bit too out of control. We fast forward just a few months, June 18th, 2023. It's a Sunday afternoon in the Potrero Hill Projects, and 4 Pterodolph members are hanging out outside. Anyways, these 4 members are hanging out in the projects when they decide, hey, let's go get some money, let's get in the field. So at 4:30 p.m., the 4 friends hop in a stolen Infiniti and they head down to the field. At 4:45, they arrive to the famous Ghirardelli Square, and here they begin peeking in cars. They smash into a Dodge Caravan and a Toyota Camry, stealing all the bags inside.
Man, you break into my car, you ain't getting nothing, because I ain't got nothing in my car.
Still, SFPD do absolutely nothing. So for the next 2 hours straight, the Infiniti tears up the north side of San Francisco block by block. They easily break into dozens of cars with no signs of any police.
Sure, you breaking
6:47 p.m. They're still in the field, and now they're bipping in north.
You breaking my car with a book bag in there, bro? Bro, good luck. There's gonna be something in that book bag that's gonna track you down, and it's not mine.
Beach. This is
you still one of my work stuff, bro. You might be out of. Oh my goodness. My bad. But well, you still saying that got my work stuff in it, bro? Good luck, bro. They might be coming for you.
This is when Xavier and Jomar approach a black Chevy Blazer with an out-of-state license plate. Inside is a couple from Las Vegas, and the man in the driver's seat sees it coming. So as soon as they walk up to his car, he unleashes. Jomar and Xavier are absolutely stunned as they sprint back to the Infiniti. This is when the Chevy Blazer, who just committed a felony, speeds off. The members in the Infiniti are not happy, so they decide to pursue the Chevy.
Ah, shoot.
This is full crash out mode. Flying down the Embarcadero, the Chevy Blazer is being chased by the Pterodolph Infiniti. The Chevy gets slowed down in traffic near Pier 35, and this is when the Infiniti catches up.
At this point, you gotta get out and run.
And begin blowing. Pop, 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 pop,
Never mind.
Thankfully, the Las Vegas man isn't hit. However, 3 bystanders are.
Ooh.
The Chevy somehow maneuvers and spins back the other way up the Embarcadero. Of course, the Pterodolph mobile still pursues him. As he's approaching Fisherman's Wharf, sadly the Chevy smacks right in the back of a pickup truck. This is when the Infiniti pulls up right behind him, and all 4 members hop out and begin blowing. They let off 59 shots into the Chevy Blazer.
There's multiple callers, security advising they saw people ducking and running.
Right away to that breaking news, multiple shooting scenes in the heart of San Francisco. Gunfire erupts across the street from Pier 39, and a rolling gun battle ends along the Embarcadero. The chaos coming on a busy Father's Day Sunday.
Detectives working along the Embarcadero Sunday night, where evidence markers were scattered everywhere.
It sounded like backfire from like a car engine, and then all of a sudden you heard pop, 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 and it didn't stop. It went pop, 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 like 20 to 25 times.
That from a woman eating in this area with her family along the Embarcadero. Police confirmed that at least 2 people were shot. Witnesses tell us those victims appeared to have both been in this car, seen being chased by a white sedan.
I can tell that he's for surely been shot, and then when I looked at the car crash and the bullet Oh yeah, this was a whole thing.
Rest in
Urgently,
peace, that
the
man.
members hop back in the Infinity and they speed back towards the Bay Bridge, speeding uncontrollably through the tourist part of the city. And this is when they smack into two bystanders. A 16-year-old girl from Wisconsin breaks her ankle, and a 10-year-old little sister smacks into the windshield. Thankfully, she would be okay. Still scary, but where are the police?
Yeah.
Somehow, with a broken windshield, they make it to the Bay Bridge and they head across with no police pursuing them. At 7:10, they arrive in Oakland and they park the car behind an abandoned warehouse on the east side of Oakland. They ditch the car and send it to flames. Somehow, they would get away with this recklessness. However, for the Las Vegas man named Lee Haywood, he would be arrested and charged with a felony. But most importantly, he and his girlfriend would...
He survived?
Somehow, they would get away with this recklessness. However, for the Las Vegas man named Lee Haywood, he would be arrested and charged with a felony. But most importantly, he and his girlfriend would both survive. What the hell was even that? An afternoon of pure savagery and reckless whatever. But this is when one of the members named Richard makes a major mistake. At 7:30, he texts his homie named Lil Motion and he says, "Hey, I just got shot at in the field." Lil Motion responds, "You good, bruh?" "Yeah, I'm good, bruh. Just had to handle some business with the car." He then tells him to come pick them up on 98th and East Oakland, and he does. All four members off in the distance, with no police on their trail. I just have to rant, okay? You bid for hours, no police arrive, and then you go up to a guy's car who's ready, he shoots at you, so you chase his car, you shoot up his car 59 times, still no police, somehow you get away, and while you're driving, you hit two girls, still no police, then you get to the bridge, you drive over to Oakland, still no police, then you light the car on fire, still no police, and you wait there until your friend picks you up, still no police.
What's up with San Fran police?
And then you wonder, why are these dudes so wild? Because they are allowed to be. But then 3 months later, Ten Shada is pulled over in Oakland, and on him, they find the pistol that was used in the shooting. Damn. So just like that, he's arrested, and subsequently, so are his 3 other friends. Okay, so stolen car, over 30 burglaries, 59 rounds into a dude who just crashed his car. What else? Hit 2 girls who are riding their bikes.
Yep. Set a car on fire.
Car to flames. This seems like something you should probably get 15, 20 years in prison for, right? No. Somehow Ten Shada gets his charges completely dropped, and for his other friends, they simply get time served. No time in prison. Welcome to San Francisco. So still to this point, Ten Shada is an innocent man. Everything, and nothing ever holds him down. He's either really, really lucky, or he's a street genius, or the Bay Area justice system is a complete joke. Probably combination of the 3. The bottom line is that the law can simply never hold him down. However, when you snake nearly everyone you lock in with, eventually it'll come around to bite you. So now we fast forward to 2025. At this point, Teradoff is crashing and burning. Things are not looking great, to say the least. A bunch of members get indicted, and in the beef, a bunch of losses back to back to back. After running it up in the field and dominating the ops for years, everything kind of turned back around against them. But on top of all this, Teradoff begins to tear from the inside out. Internal issues, snake moves, homies stealing from homies, you get the deal. And specifically for Ten Shada, he's right in the mix of this. May 5th, 2025. Sunnydale is back popping with everyone posted up outside. At this point, the complex is nearly completely abandoned, waiting for a rebuild. So this means that they can be out there blasting music with no complaints. Well, now it's 3 in the morning, and everyone is outside posted up on Brookdale. This is when Ten Shada pulls up for the festivities, except he doesn't pull up to the block, he pulls up on Sunnydale Avenue just a block away. So he parks his car and hops out with his homie named Gleech. Little does he know, a couple of masked gunmen are waiting for him, hiding behind the project building. And while Ten is walking towards Brookdale, they hop out of the buildings. Before he can even react, they let off over 65 shots.
Damn. Man, 4th of July.
Tragically, 10 shot passes away at the scene.
Damn,
now, as far as who
RP10
did
shot
this, I know, but I can't say. But let's just say that when you snake out everyone around you, eventually they'll come back around to snake you too. This dude, while being a talented rapper, was really just as wild as it could possibly get. For all intents and purposes, good, bad, and ugly, this dude is a San Francisco legend.
RP10 shot him, man. That was a banger story.
Either way, please let me know what you think. Did you enjoy the video? And if you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe.
No, drop you a like. Peace. Hey, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, bro. I'm gonna get at y'all boys on the next one, man. Get to the gaming channel, bro. If you made this far, get to the gaming channel, bro. You thought this was crazy? Life is Strange is crazy, too. Next time.